Today was actually the first day of the Border Gavaskar Trophy preparation when you have to look at the Indian cricket team. Kind of looked like an intra-squad game, but it wasn't an intra-squad game. In the first day, what you saw in the centre pitch simulations that happened at the Waka in Perth, you saw several questions being raised. There was a big fitness concern over two stars, Rahul and Virat Kohli. Now, apparently Virat Kohli had an injury, but then later on when he went for scans, he was cleared. He came to bat later on. But Rahul got injured. He didn't come out to bat afterwards. A lifting delivery from Prasidh Krishna had ensured that Rahul's session on day one at least was over. Now it will continue over the weekend, and there you will see how are the Indian batters coping up in preparation for the first test at Optus. Now, how did the Indian batters cope up on day one? Well, it was kind of a wicket which did not have that much pace and bounce. That's what local Australian media reports, that there wasn't much of pace and bounce like what you saw in the Sheffield Shield encounters that were held earlier at the Waka. But here, one delivery from Prasidh Krishna lifted up from a good length. Rahul got hit, and that is why he tried to shake off the after effects of the injury on 29. He had looked good until then, but then he could not resume batting, and that is why on 29 he was retired hurt by Prasidh Krishna. But then that means if Yashasvi Jaiswal and Rahul are opening, it is an even bigger indication that if Rohit Sharma is not available for the first test at Optus, Yashasvi and KL will open. There is no two ways about it. Virat Kohli. Now even Virat Kohli was undone by injury, but then he returned, he continued to bat, and on 15, he unfortunately had one more problem. No, it is not the bogey that he had against spin. Fiddling outside the off stump. He fiddled at it, edged it, and the catch was taken. Immediately after that, Virat Kohli went to the nets, the side nets that were there. He resumed batting there. He had 30 to 45 minutes of throwdowns that were given by the specialist. He came to bat for the second time, and he managed 30 before calling it quits. So 15 and 30, but there were instances when he was troubled by the short ball, he was troubled by that channel that was there outside off. So big issues for Virat Kohli that he is resolving, but I think he is getting into rhythm considering that he is not playing on spinning decks in India. He is doing well on bouncy, pacey conditions in Australia, where he is expected to do much better. So contrasting fortunes, Rahul also had a problem. He retired hurt. Virat Kohli, some persistent issues still remain, especially around the short ball and around that fourth stump. Now even Jaiswal, if you have to look at it, he played a loose shot and got out on 15. But in the second innings, he showed that yes, he can bounce back. He was on 58 not out. At this point in time, Yashasvi Jaiswal also has to understand that yes, starting in Australia is never going to be easy, because the Kookaburra will have an impact in the first 15-20 overs, and then after that it will become easier to bat on. So that is why the pitch, the ball will all ease off after the first hour, and then batting will become much better. On top of that, when you look at it, 58 not out indicates that yes, he is gearing up in a better way. Shubman Gill also, when you have to look at it, he struggled for 28. He was also looking kind of scratchy. But then you have to understand he got caught at gully. So that is why that same rising ball from that good length area is something that troubled all of the Indians. So 28, but then in the second innings he looked good again. So that is why the second time he came out to bat, and he was on 42 unbeaten along with Yashasvi Jaiswal. The simulations are going to continue in the weekend onwards, so one hopes that they can get a better score. Nitish Reddy, Prasidh Krishna, Mukesh Kumar, Navdeep Saini, these were the four bowlers that were being employed on a consistent basis. And then Jaiswal Bumrah was having a 1 hour one-on-one session with Gautam Gambhir. He was in intense discussion, and he was also guiding Prasidh Krishna, which means Bumrah will be the captain if Rohit doesn't come in, and he is going to be the one who is going to organize his troops at the Optus Stadium. Now Rishabh Pant, He started off aggressively, but then somewhere down the line, you've seen sometimes the shot delivery can trouble him. But then he played some audacious shots, but he was the only batter, if you look at it, who was bowled twice today. 19 and 24, that was what Rishabh Pant's scores were. And because of that, yes, scratchy starter, but then we know that Rishabh Pant on match day can turn it on. He's always had double-digit scores in Australia. So that's why this is a welcome sign that yes, Pant continues the tradition, but the manner of his 2 dismissals could worry him slightly. So, day 1 of the match simulation practice that happened at Perth saw Virat Kohli and Rahul getting injured, but the reports are both are doing fine. There are still some technical flaws that most batters have to avoid, and heading into the weekend, that is what they will be doing. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.